Hello there. Today I'm coming to you from one of my favorite places, right outside my house in the summertime. You know I live in the Midwest, so the summertime is a very special time of the year that we Midwesterners have to take full advantage of because, as you know, most of our time is spent in a deep freeze during the winter. But today I wanted to talk to you about impossibility. And in this video, I'm going to share 5 things that you can do to believe for the impossible. So first, I want to take a moment to talk about why it's important to believe for the impossible. If you take a moment to think about all the modern technologies that we get to enjoy, all the comforts that we get to enjoy in our daily life that we sometimes neglect or don't see the value in because they're such a part of our lives, like a microwave or a cell phone or a laptop. All these things are so normal and embedded in our lives that we forget all of those things that we take advantage of started in the mind and the heart of someone, and it started as an impossibility. And an impossibility is defined as something that is not able to exist, to occur, or to be done. And if you think about it, years ago, the idea of a cell phone, a computer, or a microwave, those things were thought of as impossibilities. Take the Wright brothers, for example. The idea of being able to fly in the air, people told them and told them that they were crazy for coming up with that idea or even investing their money, time, and energy in trying to do something like that. But those brothers had a vision and they had invested in what was told to them to be impossible, and now flying is a regular everyday occurrence across the globe. Also, we all benefit from impossibility and impossibility thinkers. Just think about it. We never would have imagined 200, 100 years ago that the level of information and connectivity that we have to each other across the world would have ever existed. But someone thought of the impossible idea of the internet, and now we can't live without it. So I want to encourage you about those impossibilities and those impossible dreams and ideas that are in your head and heart, that we need to see those and to not get stuck at the point of impossibility, but to push past where you view things to be impossible to see those things become reality. The first point to believing for the impossible is simply to allow yourself to dream again. Life has a way of, if we allow it to, of keeping us caught in the cycle of the mundane, of the routine, of the comfortable. In many cases, we forget about those wild and crazy dreams that we had when we were younger or even when we were children. And sometimes life has a way of teaching us to not even dream, because hope and imagination and creativity can sometimes be so downplayed that even the thought of being creative or stepping outside of the ordinary or coming up with something new feels like a waste of your time, a waste of your energy, and it feels like there's no way possible that that dream could happen in my life. But I found that it is so important to always give yourself space to dream. What was the wild and crazy idea that you had when you were 5, 6, 7, 8 years old? What invention did you come up with when you were 18, 19, 20? What dream did you have for your life when you turned 25? Don't let those dreams die. What are the things that are burning on your heart now that feel so far away and so impossible, but you see a need for it every single day? I want to encourage you to give yourself space and time to dream. And don't take those ideas and thoughts as just your wild imagination speaking. It's not. Many times when we have wild and crazy ideas or our imagination gets to percolating and brewing, it is actually a sign of the reason why we were born calling out to us to manifest that thing, to manifest that vision of the Creator about us into the reality of the world for everyone to benefit from. So again, I want to encourage you to allow yourself to dream again. What are the possibilities? What can be done? What can you do? What ideas do you have? Let those things come to life again. Write them down. Schedule quiet time for yourself in the morning or in the evening to just think, to just dream, and you will be amazed at how vivid your imagination is and how close to reality many of the things that you dream about really are. The second tip to believing for the impossible is to stop trying to figure out how. I tell you without fail, whenever I have a new idea or get excited about a dream or passion that's in my heart, the next thought that comes right behind it is, how are you going to do that? How are you going to pay for that? How are you going to have time for it? How is it going to be received? All these how comes into my mind and tries to drown out the very idea that has been on my heart and in my mind. Stop trying to figure out how. The how will come as you begin to give life to your idea, to give life to your vision, and to give life to your dream. I've said this to you before. There is something very powerful about moving yourself within the proximity of your dreams. And what I mean by moving yourself in the proximity is beginning to first let yourself dream, write those dreams down, and begin to take the steps that are within your reach to see those dreams come to pass. And I get it. Sometimes it feels like the things that are in your control and the ability to do right now, today, doesn't feel like enough. It feels like it's not getting you close enough, fast enough. But I guarantee you, every small step you take moves you that much closer to realizing the impossibility that is in your heart. So again, stop letting yourself get stuck by asking yourself how. The third step to allowing yourself to believe for the impossible is to remove yourself from deficit-minded thinkers. I know there are people in our lives that love us, that we want to hold on to, and that we want to share our dreams and our visions with. But the truth is, sometimes when you have a dream and when you have an impossible vision in your heart, you cannot always share it with everyone that's in your circle. Yes, people love you, and sometimes people want to give you advice because they feel like they don't want you to get hurt. They don't want you to waste your time. They might think your dream is too outlandish or too far out there. And that's fine and good to have people that love you. But if you find yourself around people that are telling you and reminding you how impossible your dream is, how you don't have the time or you don't have the resources, or how other people have failed in trying to do the things that you're setting out to do, it might be time to either stop sharing your dreams with those people or remove yourself from those circles. You need some friends that are crazy, that have wild imaginations, that are not afraid to step out into the unknown, so that when you get caught up in fear, when you get stuck along the way in your process of going closer to your impossible dreams, they'll be right there to snap you out of it and push you forward and be your cheerleader and motivator to tell you that you can do it, that you can go on, and to help you problem solve when you do find yourself getting stuck. So the third thing is to remove yourself from deficit-minded thinkers. The fourth thing, or the fourth tip to move yourself closer to your impossible dreams, is to celebrate every small achievement. I had to learn this myself, specifically when I was trying to get momentum with my YouTube channel. It took me so long to take one step in this direction that I had to learn, hey, if I wrote down 2 ideas of a video that I wanted to do, I celebrated that achievement because it was something a step that I had never taken before. So I began to realize the importance that celebration and gratitude, that it was a fuel for every step that I took towards the direction of realizing my impossible dreams. Because the opposite is true. When we dwell on the things that we could have, should have, or would have done, it sucks us of our inspiration, it dries up our excitement, and it drains us of the hope that even further tells us and reminds us how much more impossible our dreams are. So fueling yourself with celebrations and encouragements about even the small things that you do. And you know what the small things are. Don't wait for someone else to tell you that this is an achievement, but realize and celebrate everything that you do to make a step towards your impossible dream is a step to be celebrated, and a celebration that's going to give you momentum as you continue to move closer to your dreams. And the fifth thing to do in order to realize your impossible dreams is to be patient. I'm going to let that sit in for a second. You know, they say patience is a virtue. Patience is one of the fruits of the Spirit. Every time we have a dream, when we initially get the inspiration and the idea, there comes a flood of excitement, a flood of creativity. Sometimes when you share your ideas with those that are excited about your future, that positive feedback is addictive and so exciting. But sometimes the walking out of the steps that it takes to move closer to that impossible dream feels like work. It's not exciting. Sometimes it doesn't feel energizing. And so it's going to be important for you to be patient with yourself and patient with the process. Because remember, while we want to get to the end goal of our dream, the success and the sustainability that we will experience when we get there is going to be developed in the process. It's not going to magically come. The energy and the faith and the endurance that you're going to need when your dream comes to life is going to be developed while you're taking those small steps that feel boring, that don't feel like they're in line with what you thought you would be doing. The process is where you are refined. The process is where you grow. The process is where the creativity gains root, where the creativity can get a foundation, where the energy and excitement shifts from just an emotion and moves into the place where it becomes a core to who you are, a core to your calling, and a core to your purpose. So again, it's going to be very important for you to be patient with yourself when you make mistakes, patient with yourself when you feel like you need to take a step back to make a correction or course correct, and patient with the whole process, because things have a way of coming up that we didn't know would come up along in our journey. So giving yourself patience and entering your journey with a posture of, I'm going to take this journey one day at a time, or I'm going to take this journey one step at a time, will ensure and help ensure that you don't give up when the going gets tough. So again, impossible things and impossible thinking can seem very intimidating, and sometimes it can feel very isolating. But like I said in the beginning of this video, it is so important for people like you that have impossible dreams and impossible ideas to step out on them, because the world needs you. We benefit from you and your ideas and your creativity when you step out onto the impossible. When you take a leap of faith, there's something about doing that that causes the things that you need, the people that you need, to be drawn to you and to surface themselves. A way that I like to think about this is, for example, you have heard people say, don't think about a red monkey, for example. And the moment they say, don't think about a red monkey, what do you see everywhere? Pictures of red monkeys. So the same is true when you allow your vision and your impossible dreams to take root in your heart and take root in your actions, because it is what the world needs. And I want to thank you in advance for taking a step out into the impossible, because this is what causes you to grow as a human, and this is what's going to benefit the rest of the world. So again, the 5 things that you can do to move closer towards realizing the impossible are: allow yourself to dream again, stop trying to figure out how, remove yourself from deficit thinkers, celebrate every small achievement, and be patient. And you know, I always tell you about the importance of your heart. There's a scripture that tells us, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And I want to encourage you, as you think about the impossible dreams that have been put on your heart, you become the reality and the manifestation of it. And like I always tell you, when you start with the hard work first, everything else comes easy. Thank you so much. Let's get moving on the impossible, and I'll see you next time. Bye.